Phu Quoc Nguyen, a young man with eyes as deep as the Mekong River, met Lan under a sky filled with 1,000 stars. Her laugh, like the gentle tinkling of wind chimes, captivated him. They were young, barely adults, yet their love burned with the intensity of 1,000 suns. They married on a humid summer night, the air thick with the scent of jasmine and hope. Lan, radiant in her Ao dye, pledged her life to Phu, her heart overflowing. Phu, gazing at his bride, felt complete, his world finally whole. Life in their small village was simple, their days filled with laughter and dreams woven together. Phu, a fisherman, would return each day with stories of the sea, his eyes twinkling as he recounted them to Lan. She, in turn, filled their small home with warmth, her meals a testament to her love. Years passed, filled with shared smiles, quiet moments of contentment, and the comforting rhythm of their life together. They were the envy of the village, their love a beacon of hope and joy. As time marched on, a change crept into Phu. The weight of responsibility, the endless cycle of work and sleep began to wear at him. He grew distant, his laughter fading like the setting sun. Lan, her heart filled with a growing unease, reached out to him, but her touch only seemed to push him further away. He began spending more time at the village tea house, seeking solace in the company of other men, their conversations filled with empty boasts and the sting of rice wine. Lan, her heart heavy with unspoken words, watched as the distance between them grew wider with each passing day. The laughter that once filled their home was replaced by a deafening silence, broken only by the sound of her own tears. Phu, lost in his own world of bitterness and resentment, failed to notice the pain he was inflicting. Lan, unable to bear the weight of his indifference any longer, made the heart-wrenching decision to leave. The day she left, the sky wept, mirroring the storm raging within Phu's soul. He raged, he pleaded, but it was too late. The woman he loved, the woman who had been his anchor, was gone. Years turned into a blur of empty nights and soul-crushing loneliness. Phu, consumed by guilt and regret, retreated further into himself. He became a ghost of his former self, his heart encased in a shell of ice, impenetrable and cold. The villagers, once privy to his infectious laughter, now whispered tales of the broken man he had become. Phu, lost in his self-imposed exile, felt nothing but the icy grip of despair. Section 4. Thawing the Frozen Heart. One day, a weathered fisherman, his eyes filled with wisdom, saw Phu mending his nets, his face etched with despair. He placed a gnarled hand on Phu's shoulder, his voice a low rumble. "The sea, she is a harsh mistress, but she is also forgiving," he said, his words washing over Phu like a balm. "To find peace, you must first forgive yourself." Phu, struck by the old man's words, finally allowed himself to grieve the loss he had caused. The ice around his heart began to melt, replaced by a newfound understanding. He threw himself into his work, not as an escape, but as a form of redemption. He treated others with kindness, his actions reflecting the remorse he felt. The villagers, witnessing his transformation, welcomed him back into the fold, their smiles tinged with cautious hope. Section 5. Together again. Years later, a familiar melody drifted on the breeze. It was Lan, her voice, though etched with the passage of time, still held the power to still his heart. She had returned to the village, her eyes reflecting a strength he had not seen before. As their eyes met across the crowded marketplace, Phu felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. He approached her, his steps hesitant, his heart pounding in his chest. The years melted away as they spoke, their conversation filled with forgiveness and understanding. He told her of his remorse, of the man he had become. Lan, her heart softening at his sincerity, saw the change in him, the genuine regret in his eyes. They began to rebuild their relationship slowly, carefully, like tending to a fragile flower. And as the sun set on their village, casting a warm glow over the Mekong River, Pooh and Lan, their fingers intertwined, knew that their love, once lost, had found its way back home.